What is good, YouTube? Well, last video you seen this thing's now running and sort of driving under its own wheel. About time, because wow, what a mission. I need to do some radiator stuff in this video because yeah, I have this radiator sitting here. It's got this inlet which is at the bottom of the radiator, but whatever. I need to do an expansion tank. I sort of started to make something. I do have the factory E36 expansion tank, this big fella here, but it is a little bit too big and bulky to put anywhere. Like, as you can see, everything sort of sits well and truly above. I could probably make that work there, but yeah, whatever. This is, it should work. Yeah, I'll order a cap off, like a weld-on cap section off Amazon probably tonight. But this was a part of a box that I sort of tried to make work. Besides, that part didn't really work. But hey, learning. I will see how this keeps going. This, obviously, it's not straight. I was going to make it straight. But I want it to sit like this. Sit down here. Gives me a little bit extra. And obviously, once I get the radiator weld-on section, which will go about where my little finger is, as well as have a bung somewhere-ish. But on another little side note, like 20 minutes ago, thought it'd be a great idea. I was like, hey, let's start the car up, make sure everything still runs. Completely forgot. I chucked the original E36 dodgy shitty radiator in. Wasn't sitting very well, had no radiator hoses pushing it back into place. Started up, next minute I heard shit everywhere. Well, this is one of the remnants left. If you know what it is, you know what it is. Yeah, I fudged up. Thankfully, this rad setup came with a little thermo fan. It's like, I think it's a 12-inch thermo fan. Gonna have to run that for now. Don't know how many amps that pulls. I know nothing about that fan. I don't know whether it's any good. Doubt it, but eBay. See what happens. Right, next day, fresh fade. Yep, that happened. Excuse my mess. After doing this engine last week in the last video, everything, as you could expect, was a bit of a disaster of just shit everywhere. So my table is really putrid, but I managed to acquire this from Radiator's shop. Didn't think about it. I didn't think about it, but there's a Radiator shop literally up the corner of my street. Yeah. But I've welded this on. It's, yeah, it's on there. I think there might be a couple little pinholes, but I haven't welded aluminium in a minute. So yeah, I've got a little test coupon here that was an offcut from the sheet that I had. So I'm going to do a few test passes first, dial in the settings, my top hat for it. So yeah, done a few test passes, changed my filler rod and tungsten size and my cup. I've gone to a number 7 cup gas lens. Means nothing to me, just Googled it. And I'm sort of happy with it. That's what I've got so far. I know the light's a bit annoying, but yeah, that's obviously first pass there, second pass here. So I'm pretty confident that I should be able to start tacking this together. Just wish me luck. Right, Well, I end up welding the whole thing out because, you know, why not? It's together. It's not my prettiest of welds, but it's definitely not the worst of my welds, that's for sure. The top hat is definitely, I'll probably fix it up a little bit here, just flatten it out a little bit, probably the whole way along actually, just to clean it. But this little mark here is where I plan on putting that little guy there. So once it's in there, it's a nice short little run straight to here. Roughly something-ish. Obviously I'll double check it. You can see why that probably won't work actually. The headlight will probably hit. Oh shit. Well, put the headlight in. I'll sort of hold it up in place. Yeah, no. Suspicions were right. The back of the headlight sticks out a long way and hits where I wanted to put it. So, that's not fantastic, but hey, I don't need that light section in there, so don't know, maybe I might cut that section. Well, I removed that part. It still doesn't fit perfect like I'd like. Look, it sits in there. It's pretty dang good. Obviously, once that's all pushed in, because I don't have the bolt in there. But I've marked where I want to sort of make a clearance little hole or dent. Let's see if that holds there. Got my top overflow. Hopefully, this would have a different size barb fitting. Bit hard to see on camera. Hopefully I can make that work still. But if I put a little dent where I've put that circle behind there, that will give it that little bit of cush that it needs. Hoping that the bonnet still closes with the radiator cap on, because that would suck. But I feel like the nipple here is in a good location. The nipple is going to go down to this fella down here, so it'll be whatever it is out, straight down, sort of on the wrong angle, ideally the one on the radiator, but don't really have any other options besides if I cut that off and face it upwards. I'd rather not cut into my radiator and have to weld a bunch of crap to it if I can help it. Granted, it is only a Chinesium radiator. I was just looking at the welds on it, and I don't feel as bad about my welds now for that tank, because these aren't the greatest either. Like, they manufactured it like that. Yeah. I promise you, I did not weld that. So I don't feel as bad. But China is China, so what do? Right, a few days later, I had to move some stuff in the shop. Car's out. Don't mind the mess. Done a little bit of cleaning. Nothing spectacular. But done a rendition to the expansion tank. This little nipple that I welded on clearly wasn't going to work. Well, it would, but not great. So I've welded on a -8 line. Probably a little bit small for what I realistically need. Welded on this radiator cap. Extremely hard to weld under here. Probably going to leak a little bit. Probably going to leak. Made the mistake of trying to unbolt that while it was still hot. Wasn't a very smart decision on my part, but we live and we learn. But I've ordered this off the old Amazon, Jeff Bezos. Bit of Dash 8 AN line, whole bunch of cheap fittings, and hopefully these joiners will join two hoses back together from underneath. Hoping. See how we go. So, I plan on it fitting like this. Fingers crossed, no big air leaks. And down there, need to weld on another fitting, another Dash 8, to come from that into there. Wish me luck. Alright, next day, I've done a quick little bracket there. Obviously it's still very wobbly, I need to do a few more brackets. Welded on my fitting down for there. Not sure I want to use that fitting. It's a little bit too much, but yeah, that's sort of the idea that I had. Have it running from here straight down to there. See what we can do. Right, well, it's not completely finished, but a couple little brackets. Show you guys in the next video the final. But I've got the hose down there. It's on there. Not stoked on it, but hey, it's what I can do with what I've got. I've had it running. I've got no temp gauge hooked up, so I can't run it for too long. Filled it sort of full of water, so yeah. Fingers crossed, because BMWs are fun. And I've just realised my alternator light, well, battery light is on, so it means my alternator's not charging, which I need to figure that out. More wiring. But hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. That'll end it for this video. Next video, not sure what I'm doing, but yeah, go from there.